Hello everybody. Today we're going to do one of those cool comparisons between the XF16mm, the greatest lens Fuji has to offer, and we're going to compare it to the Touit 12mm f2.8. Yes, that one is a 1.4 lens, but we're going to shoot on 2.8. Right now it's on 2.8. This is going to be on 2.8 as well. The camera I'm using to shoot the pictures on that is going to be the XT100, and we're using the HX2 here. So it's a good feel also to understand, is there really, have we come that far from that camera to this camera as well? So let's have a look. This lens is a little wider than that lens, but basically they're very close. The difference is negligible, really, unless you want to get close to the objects. Both of these lenses can really get close to your subject matter, especially when you're shooting like flowers and things like that, and also shooting grand spaces. I'm going to be shooting basically backlit scenarios like this one, and also close up to places where we can really test things out. So here we are with the Zeiss 12mm f.28. So basically the XH2 is recording me right now, and I'm going to grade the footage like that. So this is how the F-log that's recorded on here with Apple ProRes is going to look after grading. So this is the XT100 with the XF16mm, one of the best lenses Fuji has to offer, and that's why I put it on this one, to give it a competitive edge with the Zeiss, even though Zeiss is well known for their glass. So let's see how these two compare. We're going to take some pictures, we're going to look at these pictures, compare them, pixel peep where we can, and kind of see what are the advantages and disadvantages of each one of these lenses. Yes, that one's a little wider, but I don't think it's going to give it much of a competitive edge. They both can focus really close up. I love it. Like you see, I can get super duper close here, and so can I with the other lens. Isn't that fun? Let's get to it. To it! Again, I said it. Oh my god. Everyone, so we're back. New hat, new shirt. Yes, I know, but it's the same day. I just had lunch and went out and had some lovely burgers. Okay, so let's have a look. We can go to compare here. So we've got the candidate. Now the candidate is this. All right, so on the right we have the Touit. On the left, the XF16. Okay, so if we zoom in on different parts of these images, of course, one is the XH2S, and the other is the XT100. And now I can tell you that the XT100 is this one on the left here, which is sharper, and the Touit is this one on the right. The XH2 is the one on the right. This one has actually more resolution, but these are all the JPEG files that we're comparing. So looking at the XT100's rendition, we're using the XF16mm. We can see very sharp detail here and there. There are some JPEG compressions that we see, but over here on with the Touit, we see a lot of compression in the JPEG. So now looking at this road shot, let's go into the Empire logo. Again, using the Touit, we see that it's quite soft here. Definitely there should be more zoom in this one, but again, soft, and the XF16 1.4 here is very sharp, tack sharp in fact. So this is wide open at 2.8, but this is shot at 2.8, but it is a f1.4 lens. But wow, look at that. Looking at the sides here, we see these out of focus areas are nice and blurry. The Touit can kind of do the same here, but it has that softness wherever we look. Looking at this sign, for example. So now moving forward to another shot, I'm gonna move this here to this, and this side here to this picture over here. Again, we have the 16mm 1.4 on the left and the Touit on the right. Again, the Touit is being shot with XH2, and this one is being shot on the XT100. Now, this might be due to settings like, setting the sharpness levels differently and, all those internal camera stuff. But really, I didn't mess with that much. Everything should be at 0. But you can really tell the difference here. Like, look how sharp this lens is. Even though this camera on the right is way more expensive. So, right now the market price for the XT100 is basically $400, which is what I've priced mine at. And, you've got the XH2 on the right is almost $3,000. So you got to ask yourself, is lens more important or the camera? So if you have an old camera and you're looking to upgrade the lens, do that, because that's what gets you all these nice sharp images. However, having said that, always a sharp image doesn't mean a better image. So these are both using the classic neg filter, or image simulation, I should say. And, we've got very yellowish tones here, as then we've got more, more balanced, white balanced photo here. As the whole picture is concerned, they're both really good, right? The coatings of the glass also adds to the different color renditions as well. So, take that into account as well, not just how the camera does its white balancing and things like that. But you can tell these two pictures are very good. Like if we zoom in on the grass here, it is grass. It's just, this is way sharper. But does that help in conveying that thing? This is not a very good picture, definitely. These are just in my neighborhood that I took. So let's go to the next one here. That's the Touit. What I want is this picture here and this picture here. So again, we have the Touit on the right and the XF lens on the left. So if we zoom into the buildings back there, we can see very sharp buildings back there. You see, this is a camera from 2019, guys. XT100. And this is the picture it's giving me. This is a new camera with more megapixels from 2023 or 2022. I'm not sure. 2023, I'm going to say, and with an older lens. Yes, it's got more character. You've got lovely sharp detail. It's just that sharp detail is being overpowered by that softness. So, if we pixel peep and go over this, one thing I like about the pictures on the right here on the Touit, they've got a better color separation. I like these reds, these greens, they're beautiful. Whereas this one here looks a bit too purple. That could be due to the camera's sensor, it's not really to do with the lens either. But again, that has some effect on it. But looking at this detail, I am as surprised as you are. Like, oh my God, look at this. So this sign here, and look at it here. Oh my God, like I've made sure I focused on the same spot in every image. So Let's move on to another Touit. This close-up flower here. And that's this one here. Again, I wanted to see how when I shoot something close up, so what is the difference? First thing I'm going to show you is all this bokeh balls here, right? They're a bit more blurry and uniform on the XF16, whereas on the Zeiss, they've got directionality to them. Well, you know, they're like deformed a bit, so it looks a bit more busy. They're sharper bokeh balls. They're not as blurred. But when it comes to close-up things like this, damn, still this one's sharper. This is a really old camera. And, you know, I've updated the firmware on the XT100. I mean, wow, look at that. I've updated the firmware on the XT100 and it is super fast at focusing. I mean, it is a new camera in my eyes. I am enjoying the camera so much because I thought, you know, I've got this expensive camera on the right here that I can go out and shoot like Apple ProRes video. You know, I've got Powerhouse in my hand, and you know, the times when I need to go outside and just shoot for like just for fun, I have this camera on the left. Now, knowing that I can shoot such nice photos with good lenses that I have with this tiny camera, it just blows my mind. Look at that. Look at the difference there. I mean, on the right, you really can't see the pixels yet, but on the left, you can start to see all the grain and things that are in the photo. Like, it's a lower resolution picture. If I go to view and go to view options, and I go to this thing here, this, and do info 1. So we've got 6,000 by 4,000, right? And we've got 7,728 by 5,152. So really, 1,152 pixels on this side, plus, you know, 2,000 or 1,728 pixels on the far side, doesn't give you a much better picture. You see, the glass does. The glass really is kind of showing us this sharp image. I am blown away. I'm speechless, really. Even though we've got less megapixels on this side, this is really showing me, really, it doesn't mean much to upgrade gear if you're just doing it for fun, you know. Wow. So I'm going to go back to info 2 so that we get to see the lenses. Again, this is 1/3000th of a second, and this is 1/6000th of a second. So I don't know what's happening there. To be honest, how is there the same amount of light in both of these pictures? Don't ask me. And this. And I thought, you know, there's a lot of fine details on the floor. I'm going to take a photo. As you can see, the Touit gets a lot more in the shot than the XF Fuji. So if we zoom in and we look at all this detail on the floor, like, oh my God, at 2.8, you're able to see so much more sharpness here. What is going on? I am stunned, to be honest with you. Stunned. Now it makes me want to do more comparisons of lenses now. Look at this. Oh, gee. All right, let's move on to the next photo. Is this the Touit? Yes. Let's move this to here as well. Now, this one was kind of like, we were in the dark. We had some foreground elements. I liked composing the shot in this one because it was very apparent on the screen what I was getting. You know, I was seeing all this silhouette of the tree, and in here I was seeing that too. but it wasn't really clear on the screen, especially in the viewfinder of the XH2 is super detailed. I'm pretty old, so I've got that thing where, whenever I'm looking at stuff close, I have to like move it far away, and further away goes the smaller it gets, and I can't see it. It's like old man problems. But look at this. I'm not sure if it's just this lens is wide open. That's why it's giving me this blurred out look. Maybe if you stop it down a bit, you might get more out of it. But, looking at the 2.8, both. One is ISO 500, one is ISO 800. Yeah, so calculating the exposure is pretty much similar. But, you get so much difference here. It's just weird. And the color differences are very interesting as well. We've got this purple tinge here, which I think is because of the XT100's lack of an X-trans sensor. Because for the XT100 and XT200, they had to go with another kind of cheaper CMOS sensor to be able to meet the market demand on the price. So they didn't really use an X-trans sensor, whereas this one has a new X-trans sensor, so that could explain the color differences. But hey, it's up to Fuji to get classic neg and all that stuff to look similar on the cameras. I don't know why this one's so purple and this one's so green, but all right, again, we have a shot here where we have the Touit on the right, the XF16 on the left. And let's go and have a look close up. Again, wherever there's light, there's that blooming effect, whereas on the 16, you get this beautiful shine, but you don't get this blown out highlights or blooming highlights. But man, I am so impressed by this. I mean, the cool thing is that you do get some of the rolling shutter here with the shape of the wheel. I wonder if we have a moving car here to see if the rolling shutter exists here as well. But the XH2S also has that rolling shutter issue. That's for sure. So, it's not much improvement there. So let's go forward to this picture here. So that's green, sorry, but there. This picture here and this one, we're supposed to go to this. So this is close to my place. I like this little street here because you get this nice dip into the roads here and it goes right up. And same thing here, you're getting this blurry thing going on here. I did have to back button focus, so sometimes maybe it's not super in focus with the XH2S. But, the pictures really speak for themselves. And you can see how much wider that Touit lens is and the beautiful colors it produces compared to the XF16. But then again, that could be because of different reasons altogether. So let's have a look at this picture here with some people in it. Where's the equivalent? Did I not take? Yes, I did take it. There we go. Here we go. So again, this is the other way around. So I want to make sure this one is that and that one is this to it. Yeah, now it's working. So again, 16 f1.4 on the left, Touit on the right. I don't know, for street photography and getting stuff in, I can get all these people in the shot and this shop with the sale here, I can get a more inclusive shot here with the Touit, whereas the 16, I'm just a tad bit boxed in there. But look at this. Like, if I zoom into the detail, oh my God, just look at this pink dress. How much sharper it is with this lens than the Touit. I don't know why Zeiss did this, It's like, I would have thought that Zeiss would be able to produce a better, sharper image than Fujifilm. But there's me being wrong again. So this one, I thought, hey, let's try some close-ups. And, to get like a little sun coming in on the top there. Which one can handle it better? They're both very equal, and that's saying something, okay? One thing is that the Fujifilm XF16 is one of Fujifilm's best lenses. You go and search on this lens online, and people are like, I want this to be glued to my camera. That's what they're saying about this lens. And, I've had it for a while, and I never appreciated enough. Maybe this is a wrong lens for this first comparison here, but it's look at that. I mean, like, I don't even need to say anything here. Look at that. Just you can see each strand of hair here. This is a camera from 2019. This is a camera from 2023. You can clearly see a difference here, just by the difference in glass. In this picture, these colors in the XF lens are more true to life. So in my front yard, this is the color I see on the wall, not this blue here. This blue is inaccurate. But, I always love how the sun kind of comes in. So the one on the left is more accurate, color-wise. Again, much sharper. How is this sharp? It's crazy. So again, XF on the left, Touit on the right, or Touit on the right. Let's zoom in. I mean, where it's focused, it's sharp enough. But, where this is focused is really sharp. Super sharp. Look at that. It's fantastic. But very close. I mean, you might think that this is a huge difference, but, having played with other lenses, I can tell you this is a very close call here. So I love how close you can get to things with the Fuji lens, the Fuji XF lens. And I didn't know you could do that with the Zeiss as well, like given enough light, the Zeiss is, oh, sorry. I have it the other way around, you see. So this should be this. There we go. That's more like it. So I really wanted to get really close to the flowers here, but we can see the XF is focusing on this flower more, and so is this one, but really, wow. This is way sharper. The XF 16 1.4, way sharper. My God. And do I have any other shots to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to do a backlit situation, so let's have a look at that. So this should be the XF, and this should be the Touit. What is happening here? XF. Why does it keep changing? There you go. So this was a backlit situation, and usually with cameras that are not like super sharp, the camera will kind of try to expose more in the middle because there's more blurred values here. Because this could be just the camera itself, but it's so sharp. You can see that nice divide. There's a lot of sun actually coming in. I could easily see what's going on here. I'm doing an electronic shutter here as well on both because it's so bright, and I don't have an ND filter. And this is the Touit. We've got 1/10,000th of a second shutter, one 1800th of a second shutter here, 2.8, ISO 500. And, it's wow. And I like how I was able to compose the shots more straight on a lighter camera. Like that's another thing. This camera is really heavy. So when I put it up to my face, I'm just focusing on the center. I'm just focusing on where I'm focusing on. I'm not looking at the picture as a whole. So sometimes I'm not really like holding the camera straight. And it's times like this when I notice, oh my God, I should have, really followed those lines. Whereas, with the smaller camera, I just put it to my eyes and I'm like looking at the whole thing. It's like it doesn't have that big box in the middle that says I'm focused or whatever. I hear the sound, and it does its thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm used to taking pictures with the XT100 a lot more, and really here it does come through. It's an excellent camera. Oh my God! So there's that. You've got yourself. The differences between these two lenses, and also not just the difference between these two lenses, but also the differences between these two cameras. And I really want to say that a takeaway from this video is that you don't need to upgrade your camera much. You just need to build lenses, build a collection of lenses. Keep that camera from 2019. Keep that camera from 2018. There's nothing new except video codecs and formats and things like that. Really build a good, awesome lens collection so that when you do buy a new camera and you put this on there, you see a huge difference. And not like this. This is the new camera that cost me like a couple of thousands over this, which I could have 3 of these lenses bought with it. And this is the result I'm getting. 2019 camera with a damn good lens. Look at the sharpness. It's beautiful. Camera from this year. I bought it 2 weeks ago and using a Zeiss lens of all lenses, not like some shitty, TT Artisan. This is a Zeiss lens. And this is what I'm getting. So I hope this really opened your eyes to kind of equipment. Photography equipment is mainly lenses. You buy bodies for your lenses. So if you ever think, hey, I'm going to get rid of this lens, don't. Get rid of that camera. Buy another camera. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a good lens, keep those around and you really won't regret it. So that's Suboptimal Jedi from Suboptimal Camera out. I hope you all learned something like I did today. I really was just trying to figure out if this was something that I noticed, because I noticed it a little bit. I was like shooting pictures because I use my XT100 here just as a fun photography camera. You see, I put this 27mm on it, and now it's really pocketable here. I can just pull it out wherever and do stuff with it. It's got a nice front-facing LCD, and the awesome thing about it, there are no cables coming out this side except the HDMI cable, or no, this is the audio cable that's gonna come in the way of this screen. All my main cables are on this side. That's a beautiful thing about this camera. You can also use it as a webcam if you really want it. I have like these set up that I put this for presentations, and I put it right there and use it as a conferencing camera, because I have so many good lenses for this Fuji system. So, it works. So yeah, upgrade your lenses and not your gear. The lenses are gear. Well, upgrade your lenses, not your camera. That should be the main takeaway of this. So even Zeiss couldn't do better than a really good or most positively reviewed lens on the market. All right, that's what there is to it. Yeah, subscribe and like the video if you like. All right.